doors. So we appreciate your patience while that work was being done. But as I said, that should be wrapping up here shortly. Going into next week, that should be resolved. The other one we had was a question here as of this morning before we kicked off the virtual town hall, and that was have day, which would be, I guess, the installation and the apartments within it, considered opening the Trident room, but only allowing seating outdoor in the Rose Garden. The answer is a definitive yes. I'll give credit to my predecessor, Captain Wiley. It was a turnover item for us, only in the sense that he told me that he did ask the question. He actually looked at a couple different options for outdoor dining and different configurations thereof. And that request was put forth to higher headquarters, and the permission was not granted, and the environment hasn't changed in such a manner that it would be entertained at this point. And so sometimes being a squeaky wheel is a good thing. There are instances where sometimes being a squeaky wheel really doesn't find anything other than bringing unnecessary attention. So fully expect that request to go up again at some point in terms of outdoor dining, either at the Trident room or some other location like Novia. There was a concept discussed about that. But at the end of the day, we just need to have a little bit of patience, and we'll move forward when the time is right to make that request. On that note, so talking about services that we have had an opportunity to restore. In terms of Starbucks, if you haven't gotten the word, those hours expanded based on consumer demand. And so now it's open until 13, open at starting on September 28th. The hours will be expanded into the afternoon hours, so 1300. So 07 to 1300 is what Starbucks is. And then Del Monte Cafe, also an expansion of hours. We are now open for breakfast also. So Del Monte Cafe is 07:30 to 14:30. If you didn't get a chance to go to lunch there today, Chef was making, was it prime rib sandwiches? There was a picture on Facebook that the smell definitely outdid the actual picture. It looked great too. Everyone should have a word about Fitness Center, but if you don't, it is out there. I've made a point of going there on a daily basis to check things out, both the facility, the gymnasium, and also the knobs next to the exchange. Everything seems to be going well, and really appreciate everyone's cooperation when it comes to our active use service members' use of that, with all the mitigations that we have to put in place in order to allow that to continue operating. So thank you. Some other notes in terms of what's occurring is Bells Across America. For fallen service members, that's an annual event that we do in the Department of Defense. Typically, we would have some type of event in person on the lawn or something to that effect. However, this year, like most things, that'll be an online event. And in fact, it's Chief of Naval Installations Command that's doing that out there in the Navy Yard in DC. They're putting on an event. It'll be posted on the NSAM Facebook. For those that want more details, and a link to that event, which will occur early morning later this month, I should say. Child Youth Program, I will skip that. Kyle is not here, but if there's any questions on Child Youth, we can discuss that to the best of my ability. And then Navy Birthday is coming up. Chaps is our lead, along with one of our Chief Petty Officers, our fine Chief Petty Officers. And again, much like years past, or like most things right now, unlike years past, we will have a change in the what is typical. It is a Navy birthday celebration. There's no ball associated with it, both formal or unofficial or official. And so we're going to do something simple but meaningful. And there'll be more than that, but that's October 13th. If you happen to hear Anchors Away after Morning Colors at 0800 on the installation, you know why, because it's associated with Navy birthday celebration. In terms of Halloween activity within military housing, if you're curious about that, I've been in communication with my counterpart, Colonel Chung over at the City of Monterey. That's within his authorities because the oversight for housing, for military housing, is the public-private venture housing is under his authorities. But we've had some conversations on it. His team and some of the team here have been in dialogue, and there's some direction that's going to be coming out here as the Halloween activity, or Halloween itself actually approaches. So as we get closer to 31 October. So thank you very much. With that, I have one other item on the quality of life in terms of services. The Navy Getaways RV Park at the Pines Golf Course will be accepting reservations, new reservations again as of tomorrow for active duty service members and their immediate family members only. And those reservations will begin to be honored starting on 1 October. So we'll start to see the RV park hopefully fill up with our active duty service members and their immediate family members that are have not had the opportunity to move around and do things and see things and have a little bit of leisure opportunity aside from what we've had available so far. And then also the NEX barbershop on base here. I fully appreciate that there's a desire to open up the patron, the authorized patron beyond what it currently is, which is active duty service members and their family members. I put forth some inquiries. We're still bridge too far yet, but just please realize that it has been socialized. There is the strong potential that here in the next or the near future, anyways, that will begin Saturday service again at the barber shop. I don't know the hours currently. That might be what was typical hours on Saturday, or it could be a little bit shorter. It just depends on a couple of considerations. And again, it's not a done deal yet, but we're working on that so that when the opportunity, ideally in the future, opens up here to have additional patrons beyond just our active duty and their families, we have the Saturdays all ready to set up and go. Hope everyone's enjoying that can the Pines Golf Course for our active duty service members and all the rest of the their family members, duty civilians, and then guests within that foursome. So get a chance to get out there, run up this weekend and play 9 holes just to kind of check on things. Ate lunch there, and I still am not anywhere near the quality golfer that the gentleman to my left is, and will probably never be anywhere near the quality. But I'm trying my best in the meantime. With that, I want to pass it. I do have one other item of interest. We've been able to work diligently, and I know again it doesn't pertain to everybody, but it's all about the little victories in the grand scheme of things. The Navy ICA team announced this morning, so that's our CAC office. It's not it's the Infantry Naval Personnel Command's business line or line of effort, but the CAC office and the Deer site announced this morning, Wednesday, the 23rd September, that CAC office and Deer's site on board NSAM, so Naval Support Theater Monterey, will be open on Saturday, 26th September from 07:30 to 15:40 Pacific time for military members only, to focus upon reissuance of CAC cards to military members whose CAC will expire in 3rd September 2020. That's a big lift. There's a single individual currently, the respective leadership is attempting to hire the second position over there. But in the meantime, that's Mary Lou, and she's doing a great job. And so the CAC office Deer site will continue to operate in appointment-only status. That's even for that Saturday, the 26th of September. However, on Saturday, the 26th of September, if you happen to be an active duty service member, walk-ins are to be accommodated if a time slot becomes available due to an appointment no-show. So if you know of somebody out there that's an active duty service member, or you have someone in your command, please, that has a common access card or needs Deer services, please make sure that you get that word out, because that was a big lift to get those Saturday hours, and it'd be great to keep Mary busy throughout the day. So with that, I will pass it over to Chaplain, because I don't want to steal your thunder, But I will say that there's some good news. I'll leave it at that.
Yes, Skipper, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Chaplain Jerome here. Last time we spoke, we were discussing the Catholic contracts for full-time. Father Dominic, of course, that's behind us now, thank God. Father Dominic will be here another year. So all good there for a full-time contract. So that being said, we are planning to open up the chapel for all, to all, October 4th, Sunday. And that is just the great news for us. So Catholic services will start at 09, Protestant services at 10:30. We are asking you to come 30 minutes prior for COVID screening, not testing, but COVID screening. That involves a questionnaire, and we'll be taking temperatures. And so that means at 08:30, the Catholic community, we're asking you to come at, obviously 10 o'clock, positioned outside the chapel while the Catholic congregation is finishing. We'll have the Protestants for their screening and temperature checks. There'll be no children's church, and unfortunately, one of the greatest things that Christians love to do, we love to gather and eat cookies and drink the flesh. So none of that. No red donuts, no fellowship hour, and that's a big bummer for right now. But that's kind of the environment we're living in. So no children's church and no fellowship after the Catholic service or the Protestant service. Again, let me reiterate, the services are open to all. That means active duty, retirees, contractors, GS workers, anybody who can get on base legally, we'd love for you to come. For Father Dominic, this is kind of like church planning 101. Those students, staff, faculty, who we ministered to back in March for our last service, a lot of those active duty folks are going. So an article's coming out that will be publicized to those inside the razor wire and out in the community. If you'd like to come, we'd love to have you. Again, it's indoors, it's not outdoors. So that's going to be really nice for us. So great news, I hope, for all who want to get back to somewhat of a normal faith opportunities at the chapel. Again, 9 o'clock Catholic service and 10:30 for the Protestant service. So love to see you there. God bless you guys. Hope to see you. Thank you. Skipper.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. So I want to say our public affairs officer, Tina, here, sent out an email on this topic. There's an article.
Yeah.
I want to say it's going to go on maybe or the Needle Support Activity Monterey Facebook page. So.
And out the Navy Postgraduate School.
And out the Navy Postgraduate School and something like that. So
emails.
Yeah, good stuff. All right. Well, thank you, chaps. With that, that's what I have to push in terms of information. I will wait to see if we have any questions or anyone that would care to chime in. So we'll give it a couple minutes here. Tina, do you see any questions that I'm missing? I don't see any up right now.
I don't see any, Captain, no.
Okay. All right, we'll give it a couple minutes here. All right, in the meantime, again, I'd like to just reemphasize that we're still in a COVID environment. Please don't let your guard down. You got the 3 W's. We're distance here. But wear a mask, wash your hands, watch your distance. So, just please be mindful. Things, the trends and everything else will go up and down, but ultimately it's a focus on the we not me mentality, where you may think you're fine, but there's other people around you that are more at risk, and that's one of the things we look at in terms of considerations. So, and then also just remember that a lot of these services that are being authorized to be reopened by Admiral Grady, who's U.S. Fleet Forces Command and U.S. Nav North, those services, they're really, again, they're service member focused, because there's a Prago out there from the same admiral that restricts them in certain ways what active duty service members in the Navy can do and cannot do. So there's not the same opportunities outside the fence line or not in, it's within Navy lifelines or Marine Corps lifelines to do things. So thank you for your understanding of that. And as the picture changes, as the environment changes, because we get with daily deluges of data and everything else, and we look at what's called gating criteria with our higher headquarters and with our partners elsewhere, we will do what we can to get things restored in terms of services. Now, most, quote unquote, most things are that the installation has service, as a service provider, are open in some form or fashion. So they're not fully up and running. They're open. They're still mitigated. So moving on.
Can I reiterate?
Yeah, go ahead.
Captain, looks
I
like,
just want to reiterate one thing. It's common sense now, but please bring your mask to the worship services. I don't think any of us leave home without it. So you'll be required to wear that inside the church service. Yes, you can sing. And again, that's just kind of the proper PPE that we're under right now. So don't forget your mask on a Sunday morning. Thank you.
Thanks, Chad, for the reminder.
Captain, we have a question. The person says, I apologize for missing the last couple of weeks. Is there any update to the CDC status? What are we looking for to move the CDC forward? Also, thanks for continuing to do these.
No, I mean, we're still at 8. So if I heard the question correct, is there any change to child youth programs? Is that correct, Tina?
Yes, I believe so.
No, we're still we're in a current steady state that we've been in now for quite some time in terms of child youth programs. The health protection condition has not changed. And there's certain limitations when it comes to what we can do and not do within our child youth programs, specifically the child development center. So what we have is what we have. It's still mission essential personnel, and the policies are still effective. Hopefully that answers the question. If not, please, we'll get back to you and just provide your information to Tina. We can get Maggie over at our CDC, our child youth program right here to get you a more detailed answer. All right. Anything else, Tina?
There are no other questions.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for your time. Hopefully this is about 25 minutes well spent on your day. And be safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you again, if you so choose, on Wednesday, October 7th. Thank you very much. Out here.